After Yaldabaoth created our universe, the Archontic Order established the illusion of reality to imprison the human soul within the materiality of the world. Yubel, the Archon of Confusion, is also the Archon of the End. He slips into our mind to toy with our doubts as well as our certainties. He disrupts our ability to discern truth from false, forcing the human soul, in order to escape madness, to absorb his influence all the way to the tomb. Yet, one question remains. What prevents us from seeing the world as it truly is? Is it simply our ignorance or our refusal to embrace doubt? And if Yubel manipulates our perception of reality at the most crucial moment of our life, the moment of bodily death, how can we discern the ultimate illusion and free ourselves from it? Yubel is the Archon of the End, born of Yaldabaoth. He embodies a process far more insidious and silent than that of other Archons. While figures such as Abrizen are responsible for fixing illusions within the human psyche, Yubel represents the very decay of the Archontic Order. He acts as a force that fragments, dissolves, and exhausts the world created by the Archons. He is not merely a temporary agent of confusion, but a principle of degradation within the Archontic system itself. His essential nature is that of destruction. Yubel intervenes at the end, when man, or Adam, approaches the tomb, that is, the end of the body. Thus, Yubel is the Archon of the End, the madness that leads to isolation. At the end of our life, Yubel becomes the principium finito of the Archontic system. He gradually exhausts the mental structures imposed by Yaldabaoth, leading Adam towards the ultimate lie. This exhaustion allows the demiurge to deceive man one last time, tricking him into voluntarily choosing reincarnation rather than reunion with the divine. From a cosmological perspective, Yubel does not reign over one of the seven heavens, but is part of the Archon linked to the five lower domains, alongside Abrizen, Amupiel, Melkir, and Belias. The five lower domains represent the five levels of Hades, corresponding to spheres of suffering, illusion, and imprisonment of the soul. Yubel operates in the limbo of thought, a place where reference points are weakened and the soul loses direct connection to the divine source. In the Gnostic cosmological order, Yubel governs the second level of Hades. This domain is a space where the soul is subjected to the progressive decay of reality. There, the soul is trapped in a state of confusion and doubt, where madness and mental exhaustion advance slowly. Within this realm, the soul loses all capacity to access truth or Gnosis. Ultimately, it no longer perceives the path back to the Pleroma and is inexorably guided into a cycle of reincarnation. Yubel embodies the process of corrosion of the Archontic order. His role is that of an invisible but omnipresent entity, eroding the very foundations of the psychic and material worlds. Here, as we mentioned before, madness and mental exhaustion advance slowly, stripping the soul of any capacity to access clarity. His influence is not that of an active force imposing new form, but a slow process that progressively destroys the ability to maintain mental stability, with the sole purpose of confounding the human soul at the most crucial moment of its existence, the end of the body. Yubel's influence manifests in his ability to alter perception of reality. Unlike other Archons who act directly on physical actions or social structures, Yubel primarily manipulates the psychic field. His role is to distort the way the soul perceives and interprets reality, creating illusions that seem as real as truth itself. For example, near-death experiences, NDEs, reported by roughly 10 to 20% of people resuscitated after cardiac arrest, illustrate the ultimate trap that Yubel lays for humans. Tunnels of light, sensation of leaving the body, encounters with deceased loved ones, life reviews. These experiences leave a profound mark on those who live them. Yet, the tunnel leads only to reincarnation, and the soul once again falls under the influence of Archontic domination. When the time of the tomb finally comes, reference points blur, thoughts become chaotic, and the capacity to discern truth from lies is severely hindered. Yubel acts as a mental disruptor, trapping the soul in a whirlwind of contradictions where certainty is constantly questioned. This confusion prevents access to Gnosis, which requires a clear and undistorted perception of reality. As long as the soul is dominated by Yubel's influence, it cannot perceive divine truth, for perception itself is distorted. Yubel does not merely sow seeds of confusion. His influence is structuring, in the sense that he renders confusion stable and present within the psyche. He fixes illusion into permanent patterns of thought that become mental habits. Thus, confused thoughts, instead of disappearing, transform into accepted internal truth, reinforcing the illusion of reality. In crucial moments, the identification of fear, joy, surprise, or even suspicion feeds our confusion, often leading us to make the wrong decision, the one that prioritizes immediate physical or psychological comfort. The human soul, dominated by this confusion, no longer sees the world as it truly is. It is trapped in a state where everything is doubt, and doubt itself becomes a kind of inner truth. Confusion is no longer perceived as a transitory state, but as a permanent reality, a mental structure that crystallizes and deeply anchors in the psyche. Yubel thus fixes confusion as an integral part of the soul, making obstacles difficult to overcome, choices hard to make, and serenity nearly impossible to achieve. let us return to the question that guided our reflection. What prevents us from seeing the world as it truly is? And if Yubel manipulates our perception of reality at the most crucial moment of our life, the moment of the tomb, how can we discern the ultimate illusion and free ourselves from it? Yubel, the Archon of Confusion and the End, manipulates our perception at the moment most crucial for reclaiming divine light. By generating this confusion, this mental chaos, Yubel prevents us from perceiving and attaining Gnosis, undoing the ultimate deception of the demiurge. Iobel, the Archon of Confusion and the End, manipulates our perception at the most crucial moment to reclaim the divine light. By generating this confusion, this mental chaos, Yubel prevents us from perceiving and reaching Gnosis, stopping us from thwarting the demiurge's ultimate deception. To escape his grip, we must first recognize this confusion for what it is, an illusion created by external forces. Understanding the archontic order and the stakes it entails is the key to achieving clarity at the moment of bodily release. This clarity allows access to Gnosis, liberates our pneuma, and enables us to reach the Pleroma. Then, the demiurge's illusion, including the barrier erected by Yubel, will collapse. Our choice will finally be freed from the grip of illusion.